A few hundred years ago, if you walked into a major city with a bag full of paper currency, people might reject it completely. But if you walked in carrying gold, everybody understood its value instantly. That difference shaped the modern financial system, because long before stocks, banks, or Forex markets existed, gold was already functioning as global trust. And the deeper you study financial history, the more you realize something uncomfortable. Modern money was built on top of gold, not the other way around. The story starts over 6,000 years ago near rivers in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, where humans first discovered naturally occurring gold deposits. Unlike iron or copper, gold didn't rust, didn't decay, and was extremely difficult to find. That rarity changed human psychology immediately. Kings wanted it. Empires fought over it. Religions used it in temples. And traders slowly realized something important. Gold could store value across time better than almost anything else. By around 1500 BC, Egypt had become one of the largest gold producers in the ancient world. Pharaohs controlled huge mining operations in Nubia, and gold became a direct symbol of political power. But gold still had one major problem. There was no standard value system. One trader could claim a gold piece was worth 10 sheep, another could claim 20. That confusion limited trade until the Kingdom of Lydia, located in modern-day Turkey, changed economic history forever around 600 BC. The Lydian government became the first known state to mint standardized gold and silver coins, officially backed by political authority. This was revolutionary. For the first time in history, governments themselves guaranteed the value of money. Trade routes expanded rapidly across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East because merchants no longer needed to negotiate value every single time they exchanged goods. Gold became money, and eventually, it became power. Fast forward to the 1800s, and gold evolved from simple currency into the backbone of national economies. Major countries, including Britain, France, Germany, and later the United States, adopted the gold standard. This system meant every paper currency printed by governments represented a specific amount of physical gold stored inside national reserves. The British pound became globally dominant, partly because Britain controlled enormous gold-backed trade networks through its empire. Then, Wall Street entered the picture. In the late 19th century, New York was transforming into the financial center of America. Investors, banks, and industrial giants needed a stable system for international trade, railroad financing, and commodity pricing. Gold became the anchor. Banks on Wall Street began settling massive transactions using gold-backed certificates because international investors trusted gold more than political promises. And this is where financial markets started changing permanently. The creation of the New York Gold Exchange allowed traders to speculate directly on gold prices. Eventually, gold pricing became deeply connected to bond markets, interest rates, currencies, and stock valuations. Wall Street analysts discovered something critical. When confidence in governments falls, gold demand rises. That relationship still controls markets today. Look at nearly every major financial panic in history: the Great Depression, the 1970s inflation crisis, the 2008 financial crash, the COVID-era money printing boom. Every single time uncertainty exploded, institutional money rushed toward gold. Because gold behaves differently from paper assets. Stocks can collapse, currencies can lose value, banks can fail. But gold historically survives political systems, wars, recessions, and monetary resets. After World War II, this became even more important. The United States emerged holding nearly 70% of the world's official gold reserves. America's economy was booming while Europe was devastated from war. So in 1944, world leaders gathered under the Bretton Woods Agreement and redesigned the global economy around the US dollar. Here was the deal. Other countries would tie their currencies to the dollar, and America promised foreign governments they could exchange dollars for gold at a fixed rate of $35 per ounce. That single agreement transformed Wall Street into the center of global finance, because if the dollar was connected to gold and the world depended on the dollar, then global finance naturally flowed through American banks and markets. But problems started building quietly. America was spending enormous amounts on wars, infrastructure, and social programs while printing increasing amounts of money. Foreign governments started realizing something dangerous. America had far more dollars circulating globally than actual gold reserves. This triggered fear across Wall Street and international markets. Then came 1971. President Nixon suspended dollar-to-gold convertibility completely. The gold standard ended overnight, and financial markets exploded into a new era. Gold prices surged massively because investors suddenly understood currencies were now backed mostly by government trust rather than hard assets. From around $35 per ounce in the early 1970s, gold climbed above $800 by 1980. Wall Street analysts began treating gold not just as a commodity, but as a signal. Even today, major firms like JP Chase, Goldman Sachs, and BlackRock closely monitor gold alongside inflation, interest rates, and bond markets, because gold reveals fear inside the financial system before many other assets do. When central banks print aggressively, gold often rises. When real interest rates fall, gold tends to strengthen. When geopolitical tension increases, institutional investors move into gold reserves. This is why central banks globally purchased record levels of gold in recent years.